Thanks, everybody, for joining on late on a Friday. Appreciate your presence. I'm California Attorney General Rob Bonta, and this afternoon I, along with 18 of my fellow attorneys general, sued the Trump administration to stop the unauthorized and unlawful disclosure of Americans' private and sensitive information to associates at the Department of Government Efficiency, more commonly known as DOGE. An organization, by the way, run by billionaire private citizen Elon Musk. And before I get into the details, I want to thank the members of my team at California DOJ who've been working around the clock, working overtime, particularly the Government Law Section and Office of the Solicitor General. Thank you to my team. They are all dedicated public servants who've been working tirelessly to monitor the barrage, the blitz, the frenzy of executive orders and actions pouring out of this administration so that we can take swift, meaningful action when they break the law. The Treasury Department's decision to provide DOGE associates access to the Treasury's central payment system blatantly violates the American people's right to privacy and puts vital payment systems at risk. It's a flagrant abuse of the trust the American people put in our federal government, and it's a gross and blatant power grab. President Trump has no constitutional, statutory, or regulatory authority to expand unauthorized access to the payment system for political appointees or special government employees, no matter how wealthy they are or how many companies they've led. The president doesn't have the authority to give away access to Americans' bank account information or Social Security numbers at his leisure. Our private data isn't Mr. Trump's to share. It isn't Mr. Musk's to mine. We're asking the court to immediately halt this dangerous access and permanently prevent political appointees, special government employees, or employees from an agency outside of the Treasury Department from gaining access to Americans' private, personally sensitive information. The Treasury Department's payment system, managed by the Bureau of the Fiscal Service, BFS, is responsible for paying the U.S. government's bills, sending trillions of dollars each year in Social Security payments, Medicare benefits, veterans benefits, salary payments, tax refunds, and more. Payments that millions of Americans rely on, that Americans have earned, deserve, and are owed. Payments Americans count on coming through without a hiccup, payments that are needed to fund essential state programs. These payment systems are critical, sensitive, and undeniably vital to the economic stability and security of our nation, which is why federal law strictly limits access to a select group of civil servants who have the appropriate clearances, why access has been and should be highly regulated and tightly guarded until Trump took office and brought along his billionaire buddy. It's unclear all that Musk and his team would do with this expanded access, but we know what they could do. With the click of a button, they could block federal funds for healthcare, childcare, and other critical services. They could interfere with billions of dollars that states rely on for law enforcement, public education, and infrastructure repairs. Can't wait around and see what DOGE does with our data. We need to protect it now. As a people, we should be able to entrust our federal government with our sensitive personal information. We should be able to trust that the people who have access to it are qualified, vetted, and trustworthy. We should be able to trust that the federal government will make its payments on time, just as we expect of any employer or consumer. We should be able to trust that those running our federal government are abiding by the laws and operating within the bounds of our Constitution. The Trump administration and DOGE are not. As Chief Law Officer of the state of California, it's my job to uphold and enforce our laws and protect the people of this great state. Today, that includes suing the federal administration to stop them from violating the law. Before I open it up to questions, I want to recognize the members of my team at California Department of Justice who made this lawsuit possible: Michael Cohen, Nick Green, Mark Beckington, Jay Russell, Thomas Patterson, Stacy Schesser, John Echeverria, Christina Bull-Arndt, John Wolf, Ellie Bloom. Thank you to my team, and with that, I'd be happy to take questions.